Hey, this is Scott, your record selector, back with another week's worth of record buys. Got some pretty good things for the collection and for the shop this week. And here's the stack. Yeah, I'll probably be keeping about half of these, I'm thinking. So first up is one I just pulled off the turntable. This is a nice gold clear vinyl Temples. It's a single. There's only 2 songs on it. Mesmerize Live clocks in at 9 minutes, and Move with the Season, which is like some kind of remix. That Mesmerize Live is really great. Temples is a fantastic modern psychedelic kind of garage rock band out of England. And this came out in 2015. I've never seen this before, so I found this one and the full-length LP at Half Price Books. I think this was about $6 and this was $12. So good prices. I already have this record, so I will be selling this one in the shop. Temple Sun Structures. I played it a number of times on the Record Selector, and I seem to always have one of their album sides in rotation at any one time. One of my favorite modern psychedelic bands. Highly recommended you pick them up if you're into the same thing. Set that down. And I went to Euclid Records, one of my favorite record stores in Webster Groves, Missouri. They always have a great selection, super friendly staff, small shop, not huge, well laid out, very well organized, and they always have some great stuff. This was a Record Store Day release, Roy Buchanan, The Prophet, the unreleased first Polydor album. It's a double record and one of 2,500 pressed, and it is on beautiful brown marbled vinyl. It's just really good. I listened to it. I know it. It's got a real classic rock vibe. Roy Buchanan. If you're not familiar with Roy Buchanan, you need to be. Get there. I always have 2 or 3 of his album sides in rotation at therecordselector.com. So listen to the show, listen to the station, the stream. You may hear some Roy Buchanan. If you're a guitar player especially, you need to know this guy. They called him the master of the Telecaster, and if you hear him, you'll know what I mean. YouTube some of his Austin City Limits performances, and just YouTube any live performance by Roy Buchanan. You'll be prepared to be amazed. Then I got The Move, the best of The Move. I got a number of records inspired by Shindig magazine. It's a magazine I read. They're out of England. They primarily covered the 60s garage rock scene and any latter-day psychedelia. Really a great resource for good lost bands and bands that were huge in the UK and Europe but didn't get a lot of play in America, and The Move is a great example of that. They were huge in London, in England, not necessarily London, but in England, had a whole string of #1 hits, but not one in the United States. They were active mid to late 60s to early 70s. The latter few years of the band, Jeff Lynne, a couple of members of ELO were primary members of The Move. They went on to become ELO. It was a side project at the time. Turned into bigger and better things. So looking forward to get some of that on a Record Selector show as well as in the stream. Then I also got Jesse Hector, another British garage rocker, kind of pub rock, and this is their collection of their music. It Ain't Easy, 1992 to 1996. Another band that I discovered from reading Shindig magazine, and thought, man, I got to get some of that. I'll sit and I sit at Barnes & Noble, and I will read these magazines, get a big cup of coffee, so I'm not really, I'm kind of renting the magazines, and listen to my headphones and Spotify. I learn a lot that way. So Shindig always is. And then as soon as I find read something in the magazine, listen to it, boom, go right online, and if it's a good price, I'll buy it. That's what I did with that Jesse Hector. And then some of the other bands like The Move, you know, I know I could probably find them at a better record store like Euclid Records, and sure enough, they had 3 or 4 Move albums, so I figured I'd go with the Greatest Hits double album. Then I also got this one, Troublemakers. This one was at a Half Price Books, very cheap. I think it was like $6. It's a double album, and it is all 80s alternative and kind of, well, that's what it is. You got Sex Pistols, you got John Cale is on here, really great. Gang of Four, Wire, Public Image Limited, Devo, the Bugaloos, Nico. Really, I'm looking forward to listening to this collection, Troublemakers. At first I pulled it up, I'm like, that sounds like a band. Look, you know, it looks very 80s, new wave, kind of punk-ish, post-punk, whatever. And opened it up. Wow, looks great. Can't wait to get this one in the mix, Troublemakers. Then I got Emmett Rhodes. Can never go wrong with anything Emmett Rhodes associated. And this is Mirror. Don't know exactly when this one was put out. It's on Dunhill, but he should have been a lot bigger than he ever got. People who know records and know good music know Emmett Rhodes. So if you've listened to the Record Selector, you probably are a little bit familiar. Then the Flat 5. This is one that I found at a local antique mall. Thought, oh, that looks interesting. Took a chance on it. It's really good. Think Sergio Mendes. Think Brazil 66. It's really a fine record. So looking forward to getting this one online. And then I got Bugaloos. This was a $4 record at Half Price Books. They obviously didn't know that this is quite a valuable album. Anyone of my age, I gotta get the cat off the desk. The cat is always up here. Go away. Go away, kitty cat. Yeah. So, Bugaloos. Anyone of my age, I'm 53, Gen Xers, will remember anything Sid and Marty Krofft related. So, Bugaloos. It's probably awful, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to put it on as soon as I record it. Okay, look. Gracie, I'm trying to do a video. You can't be there. She's sitting on Neil Young. Neil Young's first record. Believe it or not, I don't think I have this in the collection. So, being a huge Neil Young fan, I have to have it. So, now I do. And you will soon be hearing it on the Record Selector. So, I have to correct the cat's mistake. She sat on something and started something. Walking my cat named Dog. How appropriate. Just dealing with cat issues here. And Norma Tanega. This is a rare record. Hard to find this. She had a hit with Walking My Cat Named Dog. She was one of those early 60s, mid-60s folkies. And it's really a fun record to listen to. And not silly. You might think it's silly, but it's just good. It's a song about walking her cat, and the rest of it is, it's not Joan Baez kind of folk music. It's not depressing folk music. It's actually quite good. So we'll call her the female Bob Dylan, because I'm sure she was compared. Anyway, I got some Bob Dylan. The rest of these records are all going in the shop. Doors, Fleetwood Mac, Mystery to Me. So good, so good. Head music. Nectar, more trippy prog, Remember the Future, good. All of this stuff is already online on the Record Selector. These will all be up for sale in the shop. Pink Floyd, people love it. Yeah. Top seller. It's like Eagles' greatest hits. Speaking of greatest hits, Bob Dylan. Phil Collins. People actually ask for this. I don't know. Not my favorite, but actually this is not a bad record. In the Air Tonight. It's you know, I Missed Again. It's good. Takes me back to middle school era. Of course, didn't I mention the Eagles? Yeah. It's a big seller. Big Country. Not a big seller. Should be. This record is great. It's anybody who knows good 80s music knows Big Country in a Big Country. Unfortunately, that was their only hit, but you should get to know them. It's all really good. Think U2 It's that kind of rock and roll 80s rock alternative. Canned Heat, Cheap Trick. These are all boring. Cat Stevens does have the poster. Jethro Tull, Aqualung, great. Billy Joel, Alan Curtin. Last Exit, Traffic. Ooh, so good. I think Shanghai Noodle Factory is on this one. Yeah, buy that. Come down to the shop, you can buy this one. Iron Butterfly, and last but not least, Emotions in Motion, taking you back to fast times at Ridgemont High. A lot of good times associated with early 80s Billy Squier. And that, my friends, is it for this week. So, haven't gotten around to putting my next Record Selector show together, but obviously I've got some good music to put in one, so I need to get on that. So, we'll see what I pick up next week.